The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Coming up tonight, a second stabbing incident at the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. This one this afternoon. We tell you the details straight ahead. Also, Education Minister Glenn Martin talks about the teacher shortage that still plagues the public education system. And later in tonight's show, the government looking to uplift vulnerable Bahamians through a rent-to-own program. We got a little tease about it. I think it was at the weekend. Well, we'll talk more in depth this evening. That's also coming up for you. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, an inmate at the Bahamas Department of Corrections suffering injuries after being involved in an altercation at the remand center on the Fox Hill property earlier today. According to officials, a mentally ill inmate and another prisoner got into a fight, and the mentally ill inmate was hit with a slop bucket in his face, and according to doctors, he had 2 wounds to his skull. Commissioner of Prisons Don Clare said the bucket was used to beat the victim, who can tell you, and we can tell you at this time, that he is conscious and alert. We got that update just a little while for you. Now, Clare also decried what he has been a long-standing issue of having mentally ill patients housed with the general prison population. Currently, he says there are 160 mentally challenged inmates, and due to overcrowding at the prison, placing them with other prisoners is sometimes unavoidable. The remand center currently houses 359 inmates, but was only built to accommodate 300. And the total prison population now stands at 1,618 inmates. Now, Eyewitness News caught up with National Security Minister Wayne Monroe, who provided this update for us on the matter.
2 persons in the mentally challenged area got in a fight, and they were using a slop bucket. And one of the persons ended up with 2 puncture wounds to his head. And the slop buckets have to remain in the cells for obvious reasons, because they're the equivalent of the toilet in the cell. Now, this is in the remand center that actually comes with toilet fixtures, but the pipes are destroyed. We're moving at repairing those. But the reality is, you would recall at the beat back in 2021, 2022, we had 1 or 2 incidents where persons beat cellmates' head into the wall or the bars and caused serious injury. That's the reality when you have a facility that is built in a particular manner. What has caused us to be pushing very hard and kinetically to seek to get the new high-medium prison underway. The high-medium prison, I think you may have seen the sample cell.
Yes, sir.
Will have plumbing in it, so you will not have a slop bucket. The high-medium prison will be made of steel so that you cannot dig into the cement or anything to hide contraband or to hide fabricated jukas, be it a toothbrush sharpened, be it a piece of metal sharpened. The new facility will not have a surface that will permit you to hide those types of contraband. And so the prison, the correctional facility, the prison has to work with the facility that it has. The incident today was 2 inmates fighting each other using a slop bucket that has to be in the cell because there are no toilet facilities in the cell.
A high medium prison, a unique term. We'll see exactly what that involves. We know that there was a price tag of around $50 million that was placed on that new prison facility. But you know, I want to really look at the fact that of the more than 100 mentally unstable prisoners that are there, and because of lack of space, they are with everyone else, and then they can have an episode at any time. We're going to talk about that because this is nothing to be taken lightly. This person, whatever led to their altercation, obviously the officials thought it very important to identify that one of them was mentally ill. We'll be going to talk about that this evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, our contributors, Leslie Miller and Ellington Ferguson. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you. Welcome to the show.
Good evening to you. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas. It's a pleasure to be here once again.
It is quite interesting when you hear of a mentally ill prisoner, but obviously they would have committed a crime. We have seen just last year where people described as mentally ill are accused of committing sexual assaults, for example, and very violent sexual assaults, even as far as homicides. But to have them out in the open, I mean, how do you balance that? Minister Monroe, you heard him talk about this high medium prison where it's going to be this, that, and he gave some description about
construction started?
I have no
Sound
idea.
like it did, according to him.
It sounds like it's underway, and that's up for debate because many people feel a certain way about that.
$50 million?
Many people feel a certain way about that. But let's just talk about I don't know what is a risk, or where maybe just to have these mentally ill prisoners on some sort of medication that keeps them subdued. How do you sort of like establish this balance among criminals?
It's challenging, Shanique, with the limited resources that we have as a country, and to house these people. Oh, you heard him talk about the number the prison was built for and the large number that is there now. Nevertheless, and we've talked about the issue of dealing with mental people before. That is something that we must pay immediate attention to. I don't think going forward that it's in our best interest. It's not in our national best interest. It's not in the best interest of the individuals housed there to have mental people housed with the general population of the prison. I think that is a tragedy waiting to happen, like we have seen happen. And I think we need to work post-haste to look at how we house these people and how we have them moving into mixing with the general population up there at the prison. The minister speak about this new prison work that they're planning to build. They've been talking about it before. I hope we can soon get on with it if they're not already doing it. I passed that way a few weeks ago, and it looked like some repair works was being done to some portions of the buildings on the prison compound. But yes, this is something that needs to be done post-haste as we building this new hospital. We also need to put this effort into the prison, because when we send these young men up there, or women for that part, it needs to be about reform. We need to put in true reform to see if we can try to turn these people's lives around and not just cram them in a space and wait on time to release them again. That is counterproductive for us as a nation.
Isn't it ironic, though, that next to the prison is the Sanders Rehabilitation Center? Both of them need to be expanded at the same time, eh?
Absolutely.
I mean, how do you have an overcrowded prison? The minister said some 1,800 prisons. And the prison is built for 300 something.
300.
I mean,
Yeah, that's a disaster. That's a
what
disaster.
gets me, instead of incrementally expanding the space that you have, why would the government of Bahamas on behalf of being people spend $50 million to put up a brand new prison when our people are in dire need of homes to put their children in? I don't think they understand the shortage of housing in this country today. They need to go into the inner city and find out what the hell is going on.
Well, Leslie, go ahead.
$1,800 to $2,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment.
Well, Leslie, we'll talk about housing and to address the shortage coming up, because there is something, and I'm happy to share that later on the show, about what's being done to try address that shortage. But I want to go back to what you're saying. You know, it is somewhat vexing. It's a necessity. We are no experts here. We certainly are no criminal minds and no psychiatrists and all the rest of it. But when you see what El Salvador has done, for example, now I don't know how their prison system is set up.
They did what they had to do.
But they did what they had to do in order to curb crime, in order to cut the numbers from having to be housed in any penal institution. And so my thing is, Leslie, as you said, can we not expand, or is it what? Like what was this? What this rehab center that I linked in, that word that you used? What is that going to involve? What is that going to involve? Is there any punishment happening in this rehab center?
Well, the thing is, there need to be a holistic approach as it relates to when we send people up there. Once they're serving their time, we need to try to see if we can reform them. The prison don't need to be soft. Nevertheless, there need to be this aspect of counseling and therapists, where we can see if we can turn, especially those who going for the first time or the younger generation that's going up there, see if we can curb them and get them to start to think different. Okay, where that is not happening, where these are hardened criminal, we need a proper prison with the proper facilities. I mean, it's been eons of time that we've been using these out buckets and all these type of stuff.
What you want them? What you want?
Huh?
Why would it not have a bathroom? Why would it not have a bathroom?
Leslie Miller alluded to, rather than this grandiose thing where we build this big old building,
$50 million
our history of building buildings here in the Bahamas is where we started at $100 million, and by the time we finish it, it is at $500 million. Okay, I think we should go in incremental stages.
Why would you not have done it?
Build separate wings. Okay, up there in the prison, you got the space up there.
Right, because when realizing, for example, that now you have mentally, or people under the umbrella of mentally challenged, mentally ill, then there should have been a separate
yard and everything else.
And so instead of looking at building this big old $50 million structure, you go and you build a wing that will house those. And in this new wing that you're building, you have the proper facilities like a toilet and maybe a face bowl or something. And then you go on and you build another wing because you want to relieve it from the old section where those guys are who doesn't have those kind of facilities. I mean, so we got to take these things in incremental stage and stop wasting Bahamian taxpayers.
Why would you want to talk about a slop bucket? That's over down 60 years ago when you said a little boy used to talk about a slop bucket. Why would men or women be subjected to such cruelty that a man in a cell with you, and you have to urinate or do what you have to do right this present?
Well, Leslie,
and it stays like that tomorrow.
But that's why the minister is saying it needs to.
But that's why
the minister is saying there needs to be. But he's not responsible. He's saying this is why there needs to be this new $50 million facility.
No, that's not
you're
right.
You're always supporting.
Listen.
You're kind of supporting him in this $50 million facility.
I am saying that every one of us as human beings did wrong. You pay the price, but it should be in a civil situation where I have privacy to go to the bathroom, man.
Yeah.
What the hell is this? I mean, they're not animals. They are human beings.
In the cell, what happens?
For example,
you're sitting here, or you laying right here, and the guy is right here by you doing what he has to do.
Homosexuality begins in the damn prison.
It's just
okay. It's better see you on the bathroom. What is this foolishness, man?
It promotes it because after being 6 months without anything, your mind starts to travel.
For the last 30 years, 50 years, I should say, the prisons was responsible for doing all the license plates in the Bahamas. That has stopped, I understand.
Yeah.
So they see that's the thing.
These activities that the system, they used to have fellas there learning plumbing, electrical, and the like.
Painting, masonry.
What is going on there?
That's
I mean, you know, huh? Your bathroom is slop. I know it bothers me.
That is the part of the reform. And that is supposed to be the part of reform where we teach some of these young men who came out of school without any skills. We teach them skills that they can go back outside and make a living.
Yes. You got a guy sitting on a damn bucket and talking about the slop. Please, man, give me a break. Eh?
This is what I'm saying.
Brother, come back with the league, okay? Please, do your job, man. Please do your job.
What I'm saying is this,
slop bucket,
gentlemen.
For Christ's sake.
Listen to me. I don't like when. Listen, what I'm saying is this. So then, this new facility this new prison
This $50 million
rehab
hotel
center that is
When you put it
obviously...
old Cable Beach here. Wait, God. Okay,
Maybe right beside Baltimore.
Wow.
Maybe
Right next
there.
door. The Chinese will love that.
So what I'm saying,
Y'all are not nice.
we can see why that is necessary. What I'm saying is, you brought up a good point, Leslie. Why are we causing lazy men and women to just sit there? Because if in times past they were responsible for making the driver's plates, the driver's license
That's what they
plates,
did.
and so many
Another
things,
thing.
why are we? It's almost like we have softened up on what should be punishment.
Exactly.
And then on top of that, those men back then were picking up a skill. So they
Yes.
came, when they re-entered society, they at least
Yes,
knew how
they
to
had
make
a skill
license
and they
plates.
could offer to get a job.
Exactly. And so again, who has decided that this is the way the new penal system will be made up? Meaning that they ain't gonna hurt, they ain't gonna scratch their nails.
And don't forget-
and get calluses
And don't
in their
forget,
hands.
more sooner than later, President Trump could be sending a hell of a lot up here, like what happened to us in the year 2000. Remember that? When over 1,000 came here. They're on the way here now. We just didn't receive them yet, but they're coming.
In fact, the list said
They
400,
coming.
400
I say
plus.
they're coming.
I saw the list, yes.
Okay,
As
they
we look
coming.
at the prison, with
They
all
coming.
the financial constraint that we have as a country, we have to be innovative. We have to be creative and think out of the box
Don't
as
be
it
creative,
relates
put
to
up a damn
construction of a new prison.
toilet, eh?
Where we going forward. We have to.
Ready to put up a toilet? Fella go take a leak, man? For Christ's sake.
Justin,
You pee in the bottle, eh?
I see. Listen,
You pee in the bottle?
Well, you supporting this point, with that there's a need for
Not for no $50 million.
Well,
You go, listen, 3.5 years the minister was there. You could have put on a wing and extend the place, man. You have the properties there,
Plenty property.
Be creative and do something, man. Stop waiting for this golden eagle to come by.
We're going to shift gears when we come back. We're going to take a break. Good news, better news. We ain't talking toilets and slop buckets when
please.
we come back. We're going to be shifting news to tourism. I'll be see how that works out when we come back. More beyond the
That's the
headlines.
cruise line you're talking about.
More beyond the headlines right after this.
I ain't giving a name.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Hello, ambitious women. Are you ready to take your business to the next level? This is your chance to shine. I'm Adriana Fox, co-founder of the Fox Foundation.
And I'm Adriel Fox, Legacy Advocate of the Fox Foundation.
We're thrilled to announce the second annual Women's Entrepreneurship Episode Grant Initiative, created to empower and support women like you who are making waves in the business world.
This year, we're offering $75,000 in grants to female entrepreneurs with innovative business ideas in undersaturated markets and industries that have yet to reach their full potential. Our top 3 prizes are $25,000 for first place, $20,000 for second place, and $15,000 for third place. In addition, 7 runner-ups will receive $2,000.
We encourage businesses such as those in digital markets like web innovations, AI-driven service, niche e-commerce, or emerging industries such as green technologies, health tech, cultural tourism, and personalized educational platform. Whether you're launching a startup, scaling your business, or tackling that big idea that needs a financial boost, this grant is for you. Last year, we funded 10 incredible entrepreneurs, and this year, it could be you.
Imagine what you could achieve with the funding to grow your dreams.
Apply now and join a powerful community of women entrepreneurs leading the way. Applications are open from January 31st to February 28th. Don't wait. Visit our website for more information. This is your opportunity to break into a growing market and make an impact. Apply today and let's build a future of unstoppable women entrepreneurs together.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation? You mean the Ministry of Tourism?
No, that ain't the same thing, but the Tourism Development Corporation helps develop and grow Bahamian businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what I say, boy?
Oh, yeah.
Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things saying do?
What does do?
Check the website, boy.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment of Beyond the Headlines is brought to you by EV Motors. Drive the future with brand new 2024 electric vehicles. EV Motors, powering your journey.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, 2024 has been declared historic. Tourism numbers, that is. Minister of Tourism, Chester Cooper, of course, Deputy Prime Minister as well, says that he revealed this information this morning, by the way, and he commended Bahamians employed in the country's #1 industry for the work that they're doing to continue to allow and make room for the nation's #1 industry to grow. We get this story from Linton Ritchie and then come back and talk about it.
Sun, sand, and sea continue to be the #1 choice for travelers as Deputy Prime Minister and Tourism Minister Chester Cooper announces a record-breaking 16.2% increase in visitor arrivals, marking 2024 as a historic year for Bahamian tourism. The Bahamas is riding a wave of tourism success. During a press briefing on the Ministry of Tourism, Aviation and Investments 2024 Performance and 2025 Strategic Plan, Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper revealed staggering figures reflecting the country's growing appeal.
The Bahamas recorded record-breaking 11.22 million overall foreign air and sea arrivals.
The numbers tell a powerful story. December 2024 emerged as a driving force behind the record, surpassing previous tourism highs, including those set in December of 2019, a benchmark year before the pandemic disrupted global travel.
December 2024 was the best month ever in terms of arrivals, with 1.15 million visitors, posting 14% ahead of December 2023 and 62% ahead of December 2019.
Downtown Nassau, the heart of the nation city, the gateway to the pockets of many Bahamians, fostering a better livelihood, with 2024 being deemed the best year for tourism. Have vendors been feeling that revenue in their pockets?
You know, it's up and down.
Even if they don't shop before they go to the beach, on their way back from the beach, they come in the square and they shop. So it's awesome.
Yes, I've been seeing it in revenue. So it's a fluctuation of up and down.
With thousands of visitors arriving weekly by air and sea, local vendors are experiencing a surge in foot traffic. But what does that really mean for sales?
But we have a lot of traffic some days. Some days it's really, really good.
We have a good flow of traffic, persons that flow from the port.
And according to 2024 surveys conducted by Florida Bahamas Cruise Association and the government of the Bahamas, those thousands of tourists aren't just passing through, they're spending.
And spending from cruise visitors, we estimate it now to be in the $130 per passenger region on average. And I think the number for stopover is in the region of $2,800 per guest.
Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Well, I'll tell you this, it certainly looks good if you are driving anywhere downtown near the port, anywhere, or parked along the coastline there to see, I mean, 6, 8, well, I'm not sure about 8 because they are mega ships, but 6 minimum ships there docked. It can hold 8,
yes.
and huge dock there at the
world's largest
at the new cruise port. It really is quite wonderful. Downtown is bustling. Yes, of course, what they're spending is one thing, but it's good to see. Number one, the Bahamas is still a preferred destination. Yes, those are cruise visitors, so it's not really heads and beds. Nope. However, the vendors on Bay Street, the restaurants, the T-shirt shops, and the makeup and all that. You know, they are obviously, you heard them saying they are seeing some sort of ripple in the water. You guys' thoughts on those historic numbers for 2024?
The numbers have been increasing, especially as it relates to cruise visitors. However, being in the business myself, I understand the difference between those, the cruise visitors and the stopover visitors, a vast difference. And one means a whole lot more to the economy of the Bahamas than the other. I think we need to do a little more to get more, even if we could get more of the cruise visitors to return a stopover. We need to do a little more with room inventory. That is a challenge here. We need to do a lot more with our product itself. I think even cruise visitors that comes here time and time again, they basically know the product and they just love cruising. But we have a lot to do with enhancing our product, revitalizing our product, get activities within the town and stuff away from just the going on the snorkeling trip or this or that. We need some more activities like we had back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s to revitalize the tourism product here in the Bahamas. But it's encouraging. As it relates to stopovers, you know, we lose a lot of room inventory. That's the old Melia Hotel that is gone. Then we have the beach tower over there at the Atlantis. That tower has been closed and is still closed. And so those are room inventory. Even though we had the Atlantis come on stream, you got to rely, not the Atlantis, I'm talking about the Bahama has come on stream, but we lost room inventory. Okay, and so those are the things that we need to work on seriously, especially here in New Providence.
The addition of the 2 hotels in the Bay Street area didn't make a difference?
Again, those were inventory, with the exception of the Margaritaville and its one particular harbor. They did do something, but again, when you bring them in, you lost what you already had. So you're kind of almost balancing out.
I think it's a step in the right direction as far as the cruise lines, but my concern is what Bahamians, what actual benefits, what is the ratio of ownership with that cruise? But I've been trying to get it for a long time. In fact, I asked the Minister of Tourism. I still haven't gotten an answer. Who are the beneficial owners of the cruise port? Is it 50-50? Is it 60-40? The Bahamian people need to know that. And what do we accrue on a yearly basis? One of the problems I have with what is going on now in the Bahamas and the tourism mix, 40 years ago, up to 70% of what we sold in the market was made in the Bahamas.
Made in the Bahamas. Harvested
Today,
and made in the Bahamas.
More than 90% is imported. So we don't have that mix of Bahamians being involved domestically in the commercial sector in our country. They have been wiped out now. For example, T-shirts. At one time, we had over 10 T-shirt factories here producing T-shirts. Now, if we have one, we're lucky. Don't produce T-shirts anymore. Chippy and all those fellas, God bless them, who's in that business. The government policy was that...
Oh, yeah, let me hear it.
The government policy was that all the hotels must purchase at least 50% of what they use in the hotels on Bahamian-made products. Well, that has gone out of the window.
But if no Bahamians are making products, then who do you blame? Because you called some names in the day who are very ambitious, who are industrious Bahamians.
And lost a lot of money and lost their future in betting on an industry where they were undercut by the foreign elements in this country, the big boys, like the Prime Minister just said yesterday, that it's time that the little fella gets a piece of the pie. The problem is those who make up the tourism industry, those who make those decisions, don't put any pressure on the hoteliers and others to do what the Bahamas government policy is, to buy local products. And it's time they get them off their backsides and do their job, to enable the local manufacturers to get a piece of the pie. And I'm hoping that will happen soon, but it hasn't happened yet. Okay, so
one of the things that they always complain about is the level of inconsistency from the local manufacturers, local Bahamian suppliers. You go this month, you could get it. Next month, you either can't get the same.
And that
product.
is why I said we have fallen off. And yes,
we
of
have.
course, international prices and how they are obviously priced way below have crept in over the years and made competition and doing business cheaper to bring it in. So therefore, you don't see made in the Bahamas anymore.
Most of the products
but how else can we have not reinvented ourselves, though?
No, but it's up to the government too, and those responsible for tourism to assist those persons in getting involved in an intimate way to get some revenue, residual revenue that benefits them, to enable them to grow. You can't grow if they're not supporting you. They got to support you first for you to grow. Because when we import these products, we only helping that country of origin to send the money out to buy those products.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the Prime Minister said, on the one hand, you want to assist the little fella, but your ministries ain't helping.
Yeah.
And your corporations ain't damn helping.
Yeah.
None. Let's get that straight.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister is the only one in fact who out there pushing for the small Bahamians. Not another damn minister. Most other ministers and those responsible are not. They're doing the opposite. I can tell you that from experience.
Hold on, so you're trying to say the ministers of this administration are lazy?
I'm not saying they're lazy. I said the day before. The
You said
big
he
element
said
over
he's
the
the only
small
one
one.
pushing and
I'm
doing
saying the
something.
day before, the big guys over the little guys.
Okay, so they don't care for Bahamians.
That's
then.
a fact.
They don't care for Bahamian
I don't know if they care for them, but damn election coming, you better care for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to shift gears because we can talk about one area that something is happening. I'll tell you this. Leslie and Islington earlier talked about housing and affordable housing and where the average rent is $1,000. I tell you, one bedroom, $1,000 a month. However, there's a lot happening in that regard. We'll talk about it when we come back. This is Beyond the Headlines. More after this.
Who are the boss for dancer?
International events and production. Alive, Bahamas Air, Everybody Wins Live, and Field of Vibes Bahamas Weekend presents
the Evolution Concert on Saturday, March 29th at Clifford Park, featuring Vibes Cartel and Friends.
Bahamas, Nassau, where it's Saturday the 29th of March.
It's one of the biggest events to hit the shores of Nassau, Bahamas.
Get ready for Adi the Teacher, the Dancehall King, aka the World Boss, Vibes Cartel.
Real bad man, no muggle in a shot.
Log into our official airline Bahamas Air for travel specials. It gets better. We're also giving away a brand new Cybertruck.
And up to $50,000 in cash and prizes at the concert. Compliments of Everybody Wins Live.
Log into our website, feelthevibesweekend.com.
For tickets, tables, skyboxes, and more info.
Visit Ticket Flair or email intlevents242@gmail.com.
WhatsApp or call 1242-808-2369.
A member cartel I go did it.
Hello, ambitious women. Are you ready to take your business to the next level? This is your chance to shine. I'm Adriana Fox, co-founder of the Fox Foundation.
And I'm Adriel Fox, legacy advocate of the Fox Foundation.
We're thrilled to announce the second annual Women's Entrepreneurship Episode Grant Initiative, created to empower and support women like you who are making waves in the business world.
This year, we're offering $75,000 in grants to female entrepreneurs with innovative business ideas in undersaturated markets and industries that have yet to reach their full potential. Our top 3 prizes are $25,000 for first place, $20,000 for second place, and $15,000 for third place. In addition, 7 runner-ups will receive $2,000.
We encourage businesses such as those in digital markets like web innovations, AI-driven service, niche e-commerce, or emerging industries such as green technologies, health tech, cultural tourism, and personalized educational platform. Whether you're launching a startup, scaling your business, or tackling that big idea that needs a financial boost, this grant is for you. Last year, we funded 10 incredible entrepreneurs, and this year, it could be you.
Imagine what you could achieve with the funding to grow your dreams.
Apply now and join a powerful community of women entrepreneurs leading the way. Applications are open from January 31st to February 28th. Don't wait. Visit our website for more information. This is your opportunity to break into a growing market and make an impact. Apply today and let's build a future of unstoppable women entrepreneurs together.
Ultra Games turns 8, and it's your chance to participate in the Ultra winning experience. Here's how to win. Play with Ultra Games all month long, and with every 5 reward points earned, you will receive 1 electronic entry to win your share of $100,000 in our anniversary raffle drawing on March 1st. Also join us on the Infinity Store Tour in-store all month and enter to win $1,500 just for a $20 deposit at your favorite Ultra Games store. Kicking off at our Sea Grapes Plaza location February 14th. Visit ultragames.com or our socials for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Ultra Games, unleash your luck.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, you heard, of course, in the Hot Topics segment, Leslie Miller and Ellington Ferguson speak about the housing shortage. We've talked about it before. Even rent is an issue, where the average rent nowadays in New Providence, $1,000 a month. One bedroom, and many people are finding it very difficult to even find those because so many people, landlords, have turned their properties into Airbnbs. Well, I'll tell you, there is a new program, and we heard just a little bit about it over the weekend, but here to really talk about it is Kyle Dean. He's from the Ministry of Housing and Urban Renewal, and he's here to talk about exactly how that ministry and that Urban Renewal Division is sort of reaching out to ensure that the more vulnerable Bahamians who find themselves not able to find good lodging, affordable housing, are being targeted with this initiative. Good evening to you, Kyle. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you here.
Good evening, Shanique. I'm very much happy to be here to discuss government initiatives in the areas of housing and renewal.
Yeah, well, let's just talk about that because you heard the panelists in the first 2 segments. This is nothing new. I'm sure you've heard it all over, even as you move about in urban renewal, that housing is an issue, not even here, not just here in New Providence, really the many family islands, like Eleuthera, for example. But let's focus here where some effort is being done. I know stuff is happening those areas as well, but let's just talk about this rent to own program. And how does that look? And when you say rent to own, is it like you're really paying on a mortgage, but you're somehow paying rent, but you can end up owning the place that you're at?
So Shanique, the minister, who's the Honorable Keith Bell, he's driving the initiative of the rent to own. And his mindset is we're going to target the vulnerable in society who may not be able to outright qualify for mortgage. But they are paying these exorbitant rents. They can afford to meet monthly requirements set out in the agreement. And also, it comes where the down payment is little to nothing. Sometimes you may not have to pay a down payment, sometimes it may be small. And it's launching this year.
This is the rent to own?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we have houses in Abaco that we are building to launch. We have houses we're constructing in New Providence as well. The rent to own is going to be very impactful. I'll give you an example, Shanique. Yesterday, our minister was talking about a woman who was paying $2,200 a month for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Pinewood. Mm-hmm. And you would think You would think
$2,200.
$2,200 a month. And so it's a single mom and 3 of her kids who are working. And everybody have to pool together to meet the rental obligation. And so, Minister's position is we're going to take this family.
So you're starting with that family right there.
Well, this is just an example of how it can impact
a family like that.
Yeah, a family like that. So, the position is if you take this family, you put them in a rent-to-own home, they meet the monthly payments, you cut their living expense in half, so no longer will they be paying the $2,200 per
So
month.
certainly the rent-to-own is what he mean is it won't be $2,200 a month.
No. Yeah, and so that family goes from paying $2,200 to, let's say, about $1,000 to $1,100. And it puts that family in a better position because, one, you cut their cost of living every month. Two, you allow for the children to now take their resources to go out there to own a piece of the rock on their own. And so the rent-to-own program is impacting people already. People are coming, they are meeting.
Oh, so there's interest already?
Yes, so we have people they are coming to the ministry, they're setting appointments to meet the mortgage officers. They are getting their assessments right there, they understand what they're qualified for. And also one of the things about the rent-to-own is if you have a loan and your salary cannot facilitate a mortgage, this is also an option that is available until you could kind of deal with your finances. And so because
many people find themselves sort of unable to, as you say, qualify because there are so many deductions. So you're saying there's still a path for them to be able to get access
to be able
to it.
To be on your way to owning your own home, Shanique.
Well, that's really good. I mean, my God, because sometimes you would drive around New Providence, for example, and it really is a bit hopeless, I imagine, for a family of 4 or even a bigger family, because then they're thinking, how would I even get out of this to be able to go and figure I'm trying to own a home? But you can slowly, in this rent-to-own program.
You could take your monthly payments and go towards a down payment, and then you're reassessed, and we see where you are from there. And so, like I say, this is an powerful initiative. Because it's very easy for people to say save towards a down payment, but the cost of living and stuff like that is so high. Families are not making it, and you just don't understand people's position.
The cost of living, property is all of that is but people people have unique positions.
It's a government's job. It's a government's job to look out for its people and to provide opportunities for its people to own a piece of the rock.
And to become empowered like that,
to be empowered.
My God, to have some sort of dignity. Yes. I'm happy to hear that because this is important. It may not be important for somebody who lives comfortably somewhere and may look at it and say, oh, please, rent to own, what is that? But for the person who desperately needs who already is struggling right now to pay some, or even looking for somewhere, this is an answered prayer for them.
Yeah, it's an answered prayer, Janique.
Let's talk about, so there's that rent-to-own aspect of it.
Yes.
Let's talk about housing now. For those who qualify for what we would say government housing, because even now there's a housing shortage. How is the Ministry of Housing working to address that?
And so, Shanique, like I said, our minister, he is really driving this housing initiative, and we are firing on all cylinders. Shanique, tomorrow we'll be giving out 11 keys in the Renaissance subdivision. And then in March, which is next month, another 11 or 12 homes in the Renaissance subdivision. And
where is Renaissance?
Renaissance is Carmichael West. And so, I invite anybody who's interested in seeing Renaissance, they could come out tomorrow to the launch, to the key giving ceremony, and take a look at what government is doing, what they have access to. Not only that, by the time as Renaissance is completely finished, the government would have constructed 300 units.
This is a brand new subdivision?
Brand new subdivision, and at the end of it, 300 units alone is going to be available in the first phase. Not only that, Shanique, our minister is driving developments in Ocean Hole, Eleuthera. So we are allowing people in Eleuthera to own homes. We are launching the rent to own is going to be available in San Salvador. We have a subdivision in San Salvador.
So then obviously there's a need for it there as well.
There's a need for it. We are getting ready to break ground in Grand Bahama and revitalize and redevelop the garden villa known as the Ghetto in Freeport. So we're dealing with that. Then he's driving subdivision development in West End. He's driving subdivision development in Albuquerque, Central Pines. And then we're looking at subdivision development in Andros. And so, Shanique, when I tell you we're firing on all cylinders, we are looking at Pinecrest 2, we're looking at subdivision development of Charles Saunders Highway, we're looking at Ladashra Gardens 2, which is going to be where Paul track is. We have acquired the land for that. So when I tell you Shanique, we are firing all cylinders.
But it does seem as though you all are doing a lot, because for months, really several times last year, we've barely mentioned it this year because it's still into the new year, but the talk has been rent. The talk has been the fact that rent, what even is available, is priced out of people's reach,
budget, yeah.
and many people find themselves not able to afford it. No. And so it's good to hear this. Then, of course, the call for additional housing. And so it's good to see that you all are answering that, not just here in New Providence. I went to North Eleuthera a few times on assignment last year and the year before, and that was a call. So it was good to see that Eleuthera is being addressed.
Andros, looking at subdivision development in Andros as well. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to, get all of the islands as much as possible up and running with government housing. Subdivisions and, just give people an opportunity to own a piece of the rock and a place they call home.
That can ordinarily be inaccessible to the average person.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. Now, you are also working with Urban Renewal. In fact, I think the Urban Renewal Authority Act will be launched very soon.
Yeah.
First of all, what is that? What difference will that make and bring further might behind what it is that Urban Renewal is doing already?
Okay, so Shanique, Urban Renewal is a program that was developed under the Christie administration. And the purpose of the program was to drive inner city development and to provide for opportunities for children and programs to better sustain the city and whatever needs the communities may have. Urban Renewal has seen its fluctuation in terms of performance depending on which government is in power. And so, the Prime Minister's position was we bring in the Urban Renewal Authority bill, we create the law so that urban renewal will no longer will be politicized. And so we have to act. It came into effect January 1st. And so now we have the authority.
So it's been given an autonomy?
Yes, it's an authority.
An authority,
Urban Renewal Authority.
With autonomy.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you think, obviously be empowered to do more without so much interference.
Yeah, and so Shanique, let me share with you an example. Last year, we have what we call the Small Home Repairs Program. The most vulnerable in the inner city community could apply to the authority to have government grant and get their homes repaired. So we have repaired more than 200 homes alone last year. And the new year has rolled in, and we have more than 40 active projects going on in the inner city communities. And so that's just one way that urban renewal is impacted. Last week we had our senior citizens exercise program. So we had almost 600 senior citizens from across the island. They came to Kennel J. Isaacs Gymnasium. They had an opportunity to get their blood pressure checked, sugar levels checked. Bamsi was there, gave out fruits, vegetables. We had.
So Urban Renewal is still there, trying to really touch one life and one household at a time in communities, in vulnerable communities across
and
the
then you would know we have our urban renewal centers. They are the driving force. We have the police in the community, fostering community policing, after school programs, exercise programs, Shanique, homework programs. So we have a lot going on.
Actively happening now.
Well,
what about home repairs, say in Grand Bahama and Abaco, for example?
Yeah, so Shanique, we have repaired hundreds of homes in Grand Bahama and Abaco. There's still a lot more to go because, they were affected by Dorian.
Yes, of course.
And so we are looking to repair more homes in those areas, but we have been touching those two islands specifically. We have been in Exuma, we have been in Cat Islands. And so not only are we Providence-centric, but we have spread our wings out to the family of islands in order to ensure that the vulnerable in the society, has access to what we offer.
Carl, that's good to hear. That's good to hear, because one thing I am a proponent of is seeing people come up. Yeah. It's important for every Bahamian to feel somehow that they belong, they can access, they can see that they have achieved something in life. Let's just talk about the impact and the change in the program, the fact that the urban renewal is now an authority, and so the change of this program and the impact, the further impact is expected to have.
I just want to plug in a note there. The Urban Renewal Authority is going to have an official launch.
Okay.
On the 17th, if I'm not mistaken, of this month. We'll do a public relations exercise so the public will know. And again, I invite people to come out to see what it is that we're doing at the launch, and we're going to talk about where urban renewal has come from and where it is today.
Well, speaking of where it's come from and where it is today, let's talk about the Urban Renewal Band.
Yes.
It is something where, now that has gotten a lot of success stories over the years, where you've seen at-risk youth being so excited and sort of steered into a positive activity where they have gone on to have careers in the armed forces, for example, or went to college. Just give us some of those examples.
Shanique, the band today is very, very, very active. Since
even performing abroad.
And since 2021, the band has been rebuilt. But let me say this. Some time ago, when school students would go on suspension, they would just stay home. And so the position of urban renewal under the Christie administration was suspend the students into urban renewal. And so that's where the concept of the band came in. So they would come in, they would learn to play an instrument, and they would learn to perform.
Which can turn into so much because, studies have shown students who either are into any type of music in terms of whether learning to play music, sing, write, whatever it is, they academically, they perform differently.
They perform differently. So we have students abroad, even as far as Morehouse College. We have students on full ride scholarship, partial music scholarship, Shanique. And so the Urban Renewal Band has proven and it has a track record of curving what we would deem at-risk youths and turning them into members of society that could contribute in a very positive way.
This is really good, Kyle. Kyle, give the Bahamian people some sort of hope. I mean, you really kind of laid out a lot that's happening, stuff that none of us knew about. We barely had glimpses of what urban renewal was doing. Many of us didn't know if it was still around, and we might see a police car too with the urban renewal neighborhood policing, but not quite sure what they were doing and what it's about. But to hear tonight that urban renewal, we know what the Ministry of Housing is doing. You've explained that already, but that urban renewal is out there making a difference. And for the elderly who sometimes feel ignored and not seen, that is so, and left out, that is so awesome. And then the youth, and then of course helping people at least live better quality lives with house repairs and whatnot. It's good to see that is happening.
Not only that, Shanique, urban renewal and its community policing initiative, I believe community policing is a key component in the interruption of crime. Why I say that is because the police and urban renewal have developed such a rapport in the community.
They have.
That people, they report little crime to them, they give them tips, they tell them where a gun is, they tell them where drugs may be hiding in the community, and so police are able to utilize that level of intelligence to disrupt criminal activity in the communities.
Yeah.
And so I believe urban renewal is one of the success stories that we don't hear about enough.
No, we don't. We don't.
And it's making a very major impact in communities.
That you've seen
that I've seen,
daily.
And I'm a part of it. And I have let me share this with you, Shanique. Being a part of urban renewal has really taught me the importance of it because I've seen how people live in this country and in the city communities, and some of them do not live well. I've seen where urban renewal have, especially the policing aspect, have built new homes for people who may be in derelict houses. And so urban renewal have constructed new homes for families. And so that is a kind of impact that we are having in the communities.
While helping to steer young people away from the wrong influences.
Yes.
And that that's really good. I'll tell you, people are already reaching out, wondering how they can get in contact with you. They're interested because as you are seeing firsthand, better than most, that people need it.
Yeah.
People need it, and they appreciate the attention, they value the attention, they value the work. I don't know if you have an office number, or if there's somewhere that you can perhaps just give some information.
Yeah, so if you want to reach out to the ministry, the number is 323-3233, I think. That's the number to the ministry. So we could find out more about urban renewal, find out more about housing. One of the things that I wanted to also highlight is the Battle of the Bands. So last year at the Kendall GLISH Gym, we had brought bands from all over the Bahamas to compete at the gym. It was such a success that we got private donations in the thousands, tens of thousands of dollars towards what we're doing at Urban Renewal. And so, you know, you may have some corporate people out there listening. Urban Renewal accepts donations. You know, government cannot
help so
foot
into
the bill.
help so
on its
into
own.
these, especially the Urban Renewal Band, if
Yeah.
only to help these
help-
kids. Because
help
didn't they
kids, yeah.
perform at the Macy's Day Parade one
so,
year?
Yeah, so they travel, they perform and they are very, very good.
They're good. No, they're very
they're
good. And people enjoy them. They put on a great show. And again, what it does is it turns lives around. And the reason I can say this, Kyle, we had no talk before this segment, is because I think it was last year I interviewed some of the officers, police officers attached to Urban Renewal, and they were happy about that and just helping steer at-risk kids and youth in a different direction. And so it's good to hear that the holistic picture now of what Urban Renewal looks like.
One of the things that Urban Renewal has done in the Carmichael area was they had brought in colleges like BTVI, Galileo's at a center and they got young people in the area scholarships to study up to associate degrees. And so Urban Renewal is making an impact and focusing on the holistic approach of the human element. So we give our groceries, we repair homes, we deal with at-risk youths. We have programs for the elderly. We have all of these going on
Getting
because
people
we have an
in
holistic approach.
affordable housing.
Affordable housing,
And renting to own. You know what? It'll be good if you can. That sounds very good. There are days or evenings rather. I like to share good news on the show, especially like to inspire other Bahamians. First of all, you're welcome back because we want to hear some of those success stories.
Yeah.
It'll be really good, and not to at all shine a harsh glare on anybody and to make them feel any kind of way, but to show that, listen, man, people are being given an opportunity to just pull themselves up, because many people feel as though they're denied that in this nation. But through Urban Renewal, it's happening every day for any number of people.
We're working, Shanique.
Yeah.
We're working hard, no days off, because we realize at the ministry that our job and our role in the Bahamian and the average Bahamian life is very important.
No, it is. It absolutely is. And I applaud you all for that. Continue doing that because Bahamians deserve it. They really, really do, especially those who are on menial incomes, and then that's already stretched thin.
Yeah.
Again, tomorrow you said families will be given keys to homes.
Yeah, families will be given keys to homes in the Renaissance subdivision, which is located Carmichael West at 4 p.m. And the public is invited to 10.
Okay, that's the Renaissance new housing subdivision.
New housing subdivision.
Where several families will be given keys to go into their own homes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Kyle Dean, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shanique, for having me.
Thank you, because we ain't always rowing on the show, you know what I mean? We like to kind of just highlight other things as well. So thank you for doing that this evening. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing that with the rest of the nation. And I want to thank, of course, at the top of tonight's show, Leslie Miller and Ellington Ferguson. Gentlemen, thank you both very much for being here. And to all of you watching this evening, thank you. It's good to have you tuned in. I am looking forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.